Hello, and thank you for watching this webinar. Your Way Home 101 is intended to give you an overview of Your Way Home structure, eligibility, programs, partnerships, services, and outcomes. We are grateful that you are viewing and look forward to your continued involvement with Your Way Home. Let's begin. In January 2014, Your Way Home was established as the county's unified and coordinated housing crisis response system for families and individuals experiencing homelessness or at imminent risk of homelessness. Your Way Home embraces a housing-first approach to ending homelessness by first helping people find or maintain permanent housing with stability and then connecting them with community, health, human, and financial services they need to prevent future experiences of homelessness. Through coordinated entry and assessment, Your Way Home prioritizes housing and services based on vulnerability and need rather than on a first-come, first-served basis. Before Your Way Home's official launch in 2014, anyone experiencing homelessness or on the brink of homelessness had to navigate a very disjointed system. The help they did or did not receive depended upon who they knew, the luck of calling the right person or place at the right time, or the misfortune of having to sit on a first-come, first-served waitlist for many years. Montgomery County leadership recognized the need for an improved system and embarked upon research projects and planning from 2001 to 2013. Informed by the collective impact model of solving complex and deeply rooted social problems, the Your Way Home public-private partnership became a cross-sector collaboration between county agencies, nonprofit service providers, philanthropic foundations, landlords, faith-based organizations, homeless advocates, consumers, and other community partners committed to ending and preventing homelessness in Montgomery County. In recent years, Your Way Home has been recognized nationally for its improved service coordination, provider collaboration, and the use of metrics to inform decision-making across sectors, organizations, and communities. Since its launch in 2014, Your Way Home has significantly decreased the number of families and individuals annually entering emergency shelter and transitional housing, while helping more people to go directly from homelessness to permanent housing. Each year in January, Your Way Home and other communities across the United States count everyone in their region who is experiencing homelessness for one night. This is called the point-in-time count. Volunteers are utilized to find and engage with people who are sleeping outside or in other places not meant for human habitation, while also counting everyone who is sleeping in an emergency shelter. Via this point-in-time count, which gives us a snapshot of what homelessness looks like in Montgomery County on one cold night in the winter, we have been able to show that Your Way Home has decreased literal homelessness by 37%, with 464 people counted as experiencing homelessness in January of 2013 and 291 persons experiencing homelessness in January of 2018. This reduction in homelessness is more than 5 times the national average and 6 times the average for all of Pennsylvania. A significant element of this success has come from building in light support and diversion strategies at the access points to the homeless system to preserve housing when possible or resolve a housing crisis quickly without requiring further support from the homeless system. Your Way Home funders, service providers, landlords, and community partners act as the core crisis response system and share a common agenda to improve the housing stability, economic security, and health of people experiencing or at imminent risk of homelessness. As the lead agency for Your Way Home, the Montgomery County Office of Housing and Community Development within Montgomery County's Health and Human Services has an operations team currently comprised of a senior manager, program manager, data manager, community relations manager, programs coordinator, and senior policy advisor. They are responsible for leadership and oversight of contracts, programs, policies, procedures, compliance, communications, community outreach, training, planning, budgeting, strategy, interdepartmental collaboration, and cross-sector partnership development. This office distributes over $6 million in public funding to contracted housing and homeless service providers, including a 24-hour call center, a homeless street outreach team, emergency shelters, regional housing resource centers, transitional housing providers, and permanent supportive housing providers. The Your Way Home public-private partnership is continually focused on efforts to scale the positive impact of Your Way Home, engage a broader set of active community partners, and move homelessness prevention upstream to address poverty, trauma, inequity, and other root causes of homelessness in our community. A Your Way Home Advisory Council is comprised of representative government, nonprofit, philanthropic, business, and community leaders who provide guidance and support for Your Way Home's vision and strategic direction. The Your Way Home PA 504 Continuum of Care Governing Board, comprised of 12 to 17 elected representatives, including funders, service providers, community partners, advocates, and people with lived experience, is responsible for ensuring that the COC implements any and all plans, goals, activities, or action steps reported to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development through the COC funding application and/or through other reporting mechanisms. Your Way Home advisory and action teams provide cross-sector, data-driven recommendations to improve Your Way Home system and provider performance. Finally, the Your Way Home Initiative Fund provides flexible private funding for Your Way Home contracted providers to quickly and effectively help families and individuals exit from homelessness to permanent housing with stability after all public and community resources have been exhausted. Most of Your Way Home's core programs and services target people in Montgomery County who are already experiencing Category 1 literal homelessness as defined by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Here you will see the different ways a person or household can experience literal homelessness. If a person in Montgomery County is sleeping in a place not meant for human habitation, such as in their car, on a park bench, in a public transportation center, in a condemned or abandoned building, or in a storage unit or garage, then they are a priority for Your Way Home's emergency shelters and rapid rehousing programs. Similarly, people who are staying in one of Montgomery County's emergency shelters are eligible for Your Way Home programs, as are people who have been put up in a hotel or motel by a charitable or government organization, such as the Red Cross, a local church, or other government entity. Finally, people are considered literally homeless if they are in an institution, such as a hospital or jail or other system of care, but they have been in that institution for less than 90 days total, and they entered that institution directly from a place not meant for human habitation. Anyone experiencing these forms of literal homelessness should contact Your Way Home's coordinated entry by dialing 211 or texting 898-211 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to receive help and support through Your Way Home. Your Way Home also serves people experiencing Category 2 or Category 4 homelessness, also as defined by the federal HUD office. People who are at imminent risk of experiencing homelessness are considered Category 2. These are households who will be losing their nighttime residence within 14 days or within 30 days if the head of household is a veteran. Examples include households with a court-ordered eviction notice to vacate their rental unit, a notice to quit from their landlord, written or verbal notice from family or friends that they must leave, households who have been paying for their own hotel stay but have insufficient funds to continue to pay, or households who are exiting an institution with nowhere to return to. Currently, households in these situations contacting Your Way Home by dialing 211 are referred to applicable emergency and homelessness prevention resources based upon their needs. However, these resources are still limited in scope as current homeless resources are struggling to meet the needs of those already experiencing Category 1 homelessness. As Your Way Home continues to prioritize its commitment to ending literal homelessness, we recognize that we must also develop solutions that will help prevent more families and individuals from losing their housing. Homelessness prevention is an expansion of the work already done by Your Way Home and targets those who are at risk of losing their housing. We will discuss these programs on a later slide. Finally, people who are experiencing homelessness because they are actively fleeing domestic violence are served through Your Way Home. Your Way Home supports and protects the rights of all persons, regardless of sex, gender identity, or sexual orientation, who are victims of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, or stalking. People accessing Your Way Home services who are actively fleeing domestic violence are offered the county's domestic violence hotline, managed through Laurel House, in order to provide immediate safety and emergency sheltering needs. They are also referred to Your Way Home programs as appropriate. Your Way Home embraces a housing-first approach to ending homelessness by first helping people who are experiencing literal homelessness find or maintain permanent housing with stability, and then connecting them with community, health, human, and financial services they need to prevent future experiences of homelessness. Through coordinated entry and assessment, Your Way Home prioritizes housing and services based on vulnerability and need rather than on a first-come, first-served basis. Through progressive engagement, consumers are given just as much services and support they need to succeed in order to preserve costly interventions like permanent supportive or subsidized housing for families and individuals with significant and lasting barriers to housing stability. The major components of Your Way Home include coordinated entry through the Your Way Home 211 call center and street outreach team, coordinated triage and assessment using the Service Prioritization and Decision Assistance Tool, or also known as the SPDAT, a community queue to prioritize households for housing and services based on vulnerability and severity of need, housing-focused emergency shelter services, including centralized shelter bed management, diversion services to help people find alternative, safe, and appropriate housing other than entering shelter, housing resource centers staffed by housing stability coaches and housing locators to rapidly rehouse people who are literally homeless, transitional housing for select populations, including transitional-aged youth, people fleeing abuse and violence at home, and people in early stages of substance abuse recovery, permanent supportive housing for people with significant barriers to permanent housing stability, and connections to mainstream and community services, including childcare, food security, physical, mental, and behavioral health, employment and job training, public benefits access, and veteran services, among others. Your Way Home coordinates intake for 7 emergency shelters within Montgomery County, all of whom operate as low barrier, meaning a minimum number of rules or requirements in order to enter or stay in shelter, and housing focused, meaning shelters work closely with their residents to exit them to a housing destination as quickly as possible. These shelters include the Coordinated Homeless Outreach Center, or CHOC, who serves single men and single women. This shelter is located in Norristown and is the only single adult shelter coordinated under Your Way Home. Laurel House is our dedicated domestic violence shelter and serves women and their children who are fleeing domestic violence. The other 5 emergency shelters coordinated under Your Way Home are all family shelters. They include 2 Salvation Armies, 1 in Norristown and 1 in Pottstown, and 3 small interfaith family shelters, IHN Main Line, Interfaith Housing Alliance in Ambler, and Keystone Opportunity Center in Souderton. Your Way Home emergency shelter programs empower families and individuals experiencing homelessness to regain permanent housing as quickly as possible while providing a safe place to sleep and housing-focused case management services. Emergency shelter is an expensive and scarce resource that must be preserved for those who have no other options. Emergency shelters have operated at full or overflow capacity for many years, and as such, there is no space available for persons who are street homeless to immediately be sheltered. Because there is insufficient emergency shelter capacity to meet the need of households experiencing homelessness in Montgomery County, shelter admission is reserved for unsheltered households in Montgomery County who are at greatest risk for severe health and safety consequences, as assessed by the Your Way Home Street Outreach Team, who are in constant contact with these households. Your Way Home prioritizes Category 1 street homeless households for entry into shelter and offers first priority to households in these situations who are also pregnant females, children aged 5 and under, and those with severe medical or behavioral health conditions. Once admitted into emergency shelter, these shelters are expected to create a housing stability plan with each household that outlines the household's goals and action steps for obtaining permanent housing as quickly as possible. People in Montgomery County who are living on the streets, in an emergency shelter, or have been placed temporarily in a motel by a charitable or government organization are referred to Your Way Home's Rapid Rehousing Program. Rapid rehousing is a best practice intervention designed to help individuals and families to quickly exit homelessness, return to housing in the community, and not become homeless again in the near term. The core components of rapid rehousing are 1. Housing location assistance, 2. Financial move-in and rent assistance, and 3. Case management and services. This program is delivered by 4 regional housing resource centers throughout Montgomery County: Carson Valley Children's Aid, located in Norristown; Pottstown Cluster of Religious Communities in Pottstown; Keystone Opportunity Center in Souderton; and Valley Youth House, who are a specialty housing resource center serving parenting youth aged 24 and younger experiencing homelessness. Within each housing resource center is a supervisor who oversees the program, housing stability coaches who provide the housing-focused case management and connections to supportive services, and housing locators whose primary role is to cultivate relationships with landlords and property managers within Montgomery County who will then accept Your Way Home clients into their apartments. Anyone in Montgomery County verified as experiencing Category 1 literal homelessness is eligible to receive rapid rehousing through one of these housing resource centers. However, there is still more need than meets the available resources. Thus, rapid rehousing appointments are prioritized via the VI SPDAT score, which was the assessment they received when they called the call center. Households with high SPDAT scores are prioritized over those with lower SPDAT scores, with additional prioritization considerations given to those who are veterans, unaccompanied youth, and/or households fleeing domestic violence. Households who are enrolled in the Rapid Rehousing Program receive help in finding an apartment within their community of choice, short or medium-term financial assistance in the form of rent and security deposit for that apartment, which can last up to 24 months with an average of 6 to 9 months of financial assistance given, and case management to connect them with income, education, healthcare, employment, childcare, mental health, or drug and alcohol services, and public benefits. Regular and ongoing evaluation of our programs are conducted in order to ensure measurable success and impact. By implementing a housing-first approach, Your Way Home has been able to increase the number of people exiting homelessness to a permanent housing destination, meaning they have a place of their own to call home. Emergency shelters help their shelter residents exit to permanent housing destinations by utilizing housing-focused case management and setting actionable, attainable goals to help a household move on from shelter into safe and affordable housing. Additionally, the Rapid Rehousing Program helps 150 to 200 households on any given year by helping individuals and families who are living on the street or in an emergency shelter find a permanent home to call their own. And we know that this intervention works. Data shows that people who have received rapid rehousing do not return to the streets or emergency shelter. 86% of these households have not returned to homelessness system within 2 years. Your Way Home continuously analyzes its data within the Homeless Management Information System, or HMIS, to work towards its ultimate vision of making homelessness rare, brief, and non-recurring. Still, Your Way Home believes that the homeless and housing system transformation is incomplete, as it was missing a broader prevention component using evidence-based interventions to prevent evictions and secure ongoing housing stability. Specifically, Your Way Home wanted to add effective homelessness prevention upstream at the point where households begin to experience instability, even if they are not on the immediate verge of homelessness, by connecting families, youth, and single adults with opportunities to improve their health, mental health, and economic security. Your Way Home also set out to engage, inspire, and mobilize support across sectors, organizations, and communities through Montgomery County, PA, and beyond. As Your Way Home continues to prioritize its commitment to ending literal homelessness, we recognize that we must also develop solutions that will help prevent more families and individuals from losing their housing. Homelessness prevention is an expansion of the work already done by Your Way Home and targets those who are at risk of losing their housing. In order to understand how to expand its services to include homelessness prevention, Your Way Home undertook a research study in 2016 to 2017 to study homelessness prevention and eviction prevention best practices. This study, completed by Barbara Poppy and Associates and sponsored by the HealthSpark Foundation, helped Your Way Home to identify the need in Montgomery County, the resources currently available, and identify a few models of programs that could be piloted locally to address those needs. You can read the full report at www.yourwayhome.org. The report fully describes the consultation process, including the national scan of eviction prevention and homelessness prevention programs in local communities, specific content about 3 eviction and homelessness prevention concepts Your Way Home considered, and summary of lessons learned. In 2018, as a result of the study, Your Way Home launched 2 new efforts to begin getting at upstream prevention needs in Montgomery County. The first pilot, focusing on eviction prevention, launched on January 8, 2018. The Eviction Prevention and Intervention Coalition, or EPIC, is a pilot project designed to stabilize vulnerable families and individuals in Montgomery County who are facing eviction by providing them with free legal and social services support on site on the day of their eviction hearing. Additionally, the program provides financial assistance to prevent evictions and connection to the long-term financial and social supports needed to prevent future housing instability. Currently, this pilot program is available in 1 municipal court in Norristown and is not referral-based. Households who are scheduled to appear in the designated magisterial district court in Norristown receive services when they arrive for their hearing on site. EPIC is the result of a cross-system partnership between the following organizations: the Montgomery Bar Association, the Montgomery Bar Foundation, Montgomery County Courts, the Montgomery County Foundation, Your Way Home, and Legal Aid of Southeastern Pennsylvania. The second pilot, Sprout, launched in June of 2018. The Sprout Initiative is a school-based homelessness prevention program that works to stabilize families with young children who are imminently at risk of becoming homeless by providing social services and housing stability supports. The Sprout Initiative is a pilot project designed to increase vulnerable children's educational achievement by stabilizing their families' housing through the rapid rehousing model. The project will target elementary school-age children whose families are imminently at risk of homelessness as identified by the local McKinney-Vento liaison. The project will provide housing stability services for the family while coordinating school-based support for the child in order to increase key educational outcomes. Housing stability services include case management and financial assistance to the family. The program uses a 2-generation approach to coordinate care holistically for parents and children. The ultimate goal of the Sprout Initiative is to improve a child's academic and school success by stabilizing their housing. This pilot project is concentrated in 1 school district in Montgomery County and is currently not referral-based. This project is the result of a cross-system partnership between the following organizations: North Penn School District, Your Way Home, Keystone Opportunity Center, United Way of Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey, and Villanova University. As Your Way Home moves into its 6th year of implementation, we will be embracing new strategic framework that expands our work to include addressing the crisis of affordable housing, homelessness prevention, and equity. Over the past 4 years, Your Way Home has created and adopted the core strategies known to be effective in ending homelessness: adopting a housing-first approach, coordinated entry, and rapid rehousing, among others. The next step in this process is an effort to proactively combat in meaningful and authentic ways the impact of historical and ongoing institutionalized discrimination in housing practices, as well as the lack of affordable housing in Montgomery County. In this context, Your Way Home and the HealthSpark Foundation partnered with the Boston-based Center for Social Innovation and its Spark team, supporting partnerships for anti-racist communities. The aim of the partnership was to conduct a preliminary assessment of the intersection of race and homelessness in Montgomery County and begin to shape potential directions going forward. Phase 1 of this research project, comprising of data collection and analysis, consumer focus groups, and stakeholder interviews, is expected to be released to the public in February of 2019. The second phase of this project, slated to begin in March of 2019, will include a national scan of best practices and technical assistance to identify and implement new strategies of incorporating an equity lens into all of Your Way Home's work. Thank you for taking the time to watch the Your Way Home 101 presentation. We look forward to your continued involvement and interest in Your Way Home. Please visit our website in order to subscribe to our newsletter and be informed about our upcoming events and publications. If you would like to know more detail about Your Way Home program eligibility, prioritization, policies, and procedures, or if you have been hired as a new Your Way Home employee working with households experiencing homelessness, be sure to download the Your Way Home Operations Manual on our website. Also be sure to join us on social media by following us on Facebook and Twitter. Lastly, if you or someone you know is experiencing homelessness, please call 211 or text 898-211 to get connected to services. We appreciate your time and partnership to end and prevent homelessness in Montgomery County.